and welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph,
And I'm Elle.
and this is still Ted because it's still Ted Raimi month, and this week's movie is Skinner. Elle picked it.
I did. I didn't know what I was picking, but I'm very happy for it. It was goofy.
Oh,
It was fucking goofy.
okay. You can find this movie currently on Tubi, and the description is so fucking stupid. Literally, like a man carries around a bag of knives so that he can skin people. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I didn't realize he was like the main character. So I'm like, I literally put it off to the last fucking second to watch it. Regrets. I wish I had watched it sooner, but I got Elle's commentary via text message.
It was very horny commentary.
Uh huh. I was like, oh, hot damn, what am I getting myself into? I watched it up close and personal on my iPad. I carried it around the apartment with me.
Well, I watched it on my TV in my bedroom.
I bet you did.
I did. And I didn't fall asleep this time like I usually do.
Did. I bet. I bet Ted kept you awake.
I was like, this movie is so dumb and the pacing in it is not great, but this goofy bastard, like, oh my god.
And Ricky Lake is in it. I was so surprised to see Ricky Lake. I was like, what's Tracy Turnblad doing here? Hey, she's a long way away from Hairspray. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the same.
She's very young in this movie.
Yeah, and her husband is an asshole. Geoff.
Oh my god.
Stupid.
Yes. But you know what? Geoff Tate is the lead singer of Queensryche, spelled that way.
Oh, my bad.
Which is no fuck, I don't care about Geoff Tate. He's a hog.
It's just so stupid.
It's really funny because I was like, what the fuck? Because this had to have been, this is like 92, I think. Queensryche was a big band then. I mean, as far as like in the metal scene, I just thought it was funny that his name was Geoff Tate.
This movie's a lot. Like there's just so much going on. First of all, since we just were talking about Geoff, their whole thing is they're a married couple, they have a room to rent in their house and they rent it to this guy. Mm-hmm. The only thing I agree with Geoff, I'm with Geoff like, yo, you didn't wait till I got home to rent a room. I get that they need money, but like she didn't rent any kind of like anything. She just said, oh, you want the room? You got it. What's your fucking name? Where are you from?
Seriously, this was 1992 though. Come on.
I don't know.
What was she gonna do? Go down to the library and like conduct, like look through for the microfiche? Like, what the hell are you gonna do to run a background check then?
Minimum, let my husband know there's someone who wants to rent the room in his van.
I don't know. At the beginning I wasn't sure what was up with the husband, if he was like actually just, you know, it seems like he's a truck driver. I don't know. Yeah. I thought maybe he was just a absent bitch, but
I thought he was abusive. Like I was expecting him to like hit her. But he's just a dickhead who is insecure.
He is a little bit emotionally abusive though. Like the way that yeah, she sits down and's like, I missed you, and he's like and walks away. First of all, you're ugly mid bitch. Shut up. Like, shut up.
Mid as fuck. Yeah.
I wouldn't even look at this man. I'd look at that man, the one behind you.
Okay. Yeah, I was yeah. There's like steam coming off of your camera, Brody. Like I guess I just watch a lot of horror movies and I'm a naturally suspicious bitch. And also like I'm not married. So like I don't know. It just and he doesn't look harmless. He's got this male white privilege of carrying around a bag of clanking metal with him everywhere he goes, and he can just do that.
It's so fucking goofy. It's so goofy.
So goofy. I'm like, you know what's funny? I've been watching Bad Girls Club. It's very much trash, but I love having like mindless trash in the background of me doing things because I don't have to actually watch it and I can still be entertained. And I think it's season 7, and one of the girls, Judy, always carries her purse around, and they like constantly bitch about it. Like, Judy, put your fucking purse down, whatever. That's him. Put your bag of knives down, my guy. Like,
right?
He just carries around with him everywhere.
I mean, I guess since they are like evidence against him, he might be a little paranoid.
And Carrie has proven herself to like go into his room, which I would not do. If I didn't rent the room to you and you're being sketchy, I'm just gonna lock myself in my own fucking room. I really need the money. I'm not gonna check on you in the bathroom. I'm not gonna open your bedroom door without knowing that, like, whether or not you're in there. And I'm not, well, you might, I don't know. I'm not, if it's pitch black, I'm not stepping in that bitch.
This is the only situation where I would, and it's for horny reasons.
And that's good for you, sis. Good for you. I'm not
doing it. I would have
it.
totally gotten skinned. I would have been fucked.
You would have been skinned as fuck, okay? This is not
immediately.
Bro, if I worked in that warehouse, this is not a situation where I would want to make this one sweat. Because he carries around that fucking bag, and I automatically assume that there's weapons in there. You've got a creepy bag, there's a handgun in there, there's a machete, a hacksaw, something. And you can blink at me about the machete, but like my mom carried one in her car at one point. Freddie has one. Like, I live in South Florida, so a machete's not fucking weird. But like, you know, or there's like a lady's hands that you cut off. My brain is gonna think there's something sketchy in your bag, and I don't want nothing to do with that, my guy. So if he was bagless, I would probably have been in danger.
You know who wasn't bagless? The freak from the castle.
Bro, I'm still haunted by his crusty balls. I don't think I'll ever live life the same way, especially after he bit that lady's titty off. It was just too much. It was just too much, Elle. That was just way too much for me.
Well, we're palate cleansing now, you know?
Yeah, okay, all right. There's just so much. There's also this lady hunting him. Right? This lady who he, I guess, maybe partially skinned. Like, her leg is fucked up, her arm is fucked up, and half her face is fucked up. I'm gonna be so fucking for real right now, though. She's still hot as fuck, even disfigured.
Yeah. Oh, like, yeah.
She is. Period. Like, even when she snatches her wig off, she works the bald face, half burnt thing. Hot as shit. If we could all be so lucky. Right? I can't be bald. I can't pull off.
No.
Bald. I got a long face.
I've got a fucking round face. There's no pulling off. Okay, back in the 90s, there was the little Dutch boy haircut that went around, and I got that, and my hair's curly on top of it. So like when you cut my hair short, it curls.
Yeah.
It was hideous. It was so bad, and my face is so round on top of it. So like I had like this little round face and like the fucking uneven curls because my hair curled up when it didn't have the weight holding it down.
Hell yeah. But not this bitch. Not this bitch in this movie. She was like sexy. I did not understand. And she was like shooting herself up with drugs and like writhing around on the bed. I'm just like, what a crazy life you live. But she was also falling down all over the place. Like, she keeps a picture of him and her shit. Like, she's like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And then she sees him and she just drops her shit and like rolls down a hill. Why doesn't she follow him? Why does the creepy hotel guy have to follow him? Why doesn't she just fucking follow him?
That's why when she was like, I got you at last, I'm like, bitch.
Go get him. What are you doing? She could have left Geoff out of it. Like, just go get him.
There
She
was
didn't have any issues like hardcore murdering the hotel guy.
she had a lot of monologue. It
She
was just
did. I
really
didn't mind.
weird and intense.
Yeah, it's like she was like doing slam poetry in a smoky bar. All these lines, and it's all about Dennis Skinner. Yeah, it's not called Skinner because he skins bitches.
What's his name? It's so on the fucking nose. Oh my god.
I was like, oh, that's disappointing. I
Yes.
wanted it to be like an anti-hero name.
It's just like when that guy's name was Jeep in fucking
Yeah,
the
then
Angel movie.
in Legion, Jeep,
Yes.
beep beep.
It's so goofy. And oh my
Yeah.
god, whenever he gets like triggered and starts like he goes up an octave and starts like scrambling, I'm losing my shit, but also like, hey baby.
Okay, I gotta tell you, there's something wrong with me. I trust this picture. There's something real wrong with me. I'm like always outing myself on this podcast and then being like, don't judge me. But like, there's something wrong with me because every time he would unwrap someone's skin and come out covered in blood, I'm like, wow, he's so hot under there. Like, what
For reals.
looks so good under someone else's
We
skin?
really needed Mel in here to roast us.
And I think maybe we didn't specifically invite her because we wanted to just be let loose on the playground, not have her tell us.
You should be like, this bitch needs medicinal milk, and he probably does. I
No,
know
he's
that.
not.
He is pretty built, actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, when you see him covered in blood and like without his shirt off and stuff, yes. But when he has those moments, his pants are literally up to his fucking nipples, bro. And he has the nerd sweaters on. And he like puts on that like facade, like for Geoff, like, hey, slugger, like he looks like one of those guys.
My man's in Converse there, like
Oh my God.
dancing to jazz music. I'm like, oh my god, you are so like niche, my man.
No, literally, like he was hand designed, and this movie is old, like, but
Yes.
like, I don't know. But okay, that scene with the turkey,
Yes. Oh, I knew you were gonna like, huh.
don't do that. I didn't have an issue with him like skinning bitches, but like,
Don't put a knife that's on the floor on food. It's gross.
no. And then he's like seducing her with the way he cuts the turkey, but then not only that, I don't think he washed his hands and he rubs all over it. And I'm like, throw the turkey away.
Yes.
Throw the whole fucking turkey away. It's
Throw it away.
contaminated. Throw it away. Don't eat that shit, Ricky Lake. Don't do it.
Throw it in a cop car, like on
Oh
Trailer
my
Park
God.
Boys.
Yeah, get two birds stoned. I want to talk about this scene because I didn't tell you how I felt about it. I was waiting till we got here. And I was telling you exactly how I felt about it. There is a scene where cause so like he skins people and he puts the suits on. It's like in Adventure Time, Finn does this thing called Jake's suit and he climbs inside Jake's body and like controls him. It's like that, except really fucking gruesome, right? But I wasn't like horrified by these things. It still has that level of like not serious at all, even though he's like giving this whole like there's obviously a lot wrong with him and his father, it's hereditary, while he's skinning this bitch and like talking about how his dad like skinned his mom and popped her face off.
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking funny. I literally was watching it this morning while I was packing Freddie's lunch. And he's like, what are you watching? I was like, oh, Skinner. He's like, that sounds. I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's like, it's very silly. So he proves he doesn't discriminate. Any bitch can get it when his black coworker mouths off and he skins that guy and puts on the suit. So not only does he put his skin on, he's running around impersonating the guy, like running through like dark alleys pretending to be this guy. I was not offended. I thought it was the funniest shit
Okay.
in this movie because it was so fucking silly. It
Yeah.
wasn't like it wasn't like blackface or anything like that. He literally put his skin on.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a really good impersonation of him, to be honest.
I just was like, oh my god, why did they have to make him like this aggressive black man and then was like this
That guy
goofy
was an aggressive black
stereotype?
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just was. And he like popped off at Skinner like unnecessarily. So like, you're gonna catch these knives and I'm gonna wear your skin.
Well, especially because he's like a goofy haircut, and I'm like, are you talking about yourself, bitch? Look at that.
Yeah,
Like, come
right.
on.
He totally could have been, but he was just like that nerdy guy at work trying to like get in on the funnies, and this guy's like, "Oh, fuck you,"
Yeah.
and he's like, but like he's not afraid of no bitch, and he doesn't discriminate. I thought it was very inclusive.
I'm glad because I was like, this could be like a yikes turning point, or this could be just like as goofy. I just saw it as so fucking goofy, I couldn't take it
It was
seriously.
literally so fucking silly because he's just like running around in a back alley in a man's skin, like. And then when like the security guard's coming, he feeds the arm skin to the dog and like poisons him. It's so sickening. Like it's just so ridiculous. But like, look at that face. How could you even be mad at him? You know? I mean, I'd be a little pissed if he took my skin.
A little bit. I'd forgive him.
I mean, probably. And then the end
I
of
get
this
Bev.
was so ridiculous. Like it was just all around ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
This was just, it was a deeply unserious movie. And like the character was so fucking goofy. And like, why didn't they make more movies like this? Like, he seemed to kind of get relegated to like a bit player. And
Yeah.
I don't understand it because he's so funny. He's so good. Like,
I know. I think so too. Really, there's no explanation for it in my mind. I would love to see more of this.
yes,
Honest.
100%. Like, I would watch every fucking movie, dude.
Yeah, we do. But like,
His adversary, like as pretty as she was, super fucking goofy as well. Like, not a great actor.
I mean, she was very pretty, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She was giving like badass, but again, she was falling over all over the place. And like, she didn't murder that guy, but like, where was all of that juice?
Right.
She wanted to bone him. Like, she wanted to kill him, but she also wanted to bone him.
I mean, I get that. But I don't know, the monologues and then she was like selectively a badass and how she like didn't even like she's hunting him, but she knows where he tends to go, but she doesn't seem to like, this seems like a small town. They even admit like in the beginning in that conversation with him and Ricky Lake that this is a small town. Why are you even here? Like,
yeah.
But also, what small town has like a fucking like destroyed ass? I don't know, that area he was walking around in, like
with the water, that was very dramatic. But also with these sex workers, may we please talk about that?
yes.
Because where do they do that at? You know what I mean? Like, the first one was actually dressed pretty fly, and I'm like, how did you just randomly find her in like an empty graffiti like
right
alley? This is not Grand Theft Auto. You know what I mean? We're gonna be everywhere. And then the second one, when she was like, he said, "Oh, do you have anywhere we can go?" And she's like, "Oh, you don't like it in the street?" Nobody does that in the street. You just hang out there. You don't do that in the street. I'm so confused.
I never, like, as somebody in a small town, like we have kind of like an like an old industrial district where there was like it's gotten gentrified since because everything costs $1 million in Washington State. But there was definitely an area like in the 90s that was kind of like rundown factories and shit like that because the town was depressed. But like I used to like I used to go down there as a kid and like run around and explore shit, and there was definitely not sex workers everywhere.
You didn't find any random sex workers
I
who were like
did not.
in the street? That's so weird. This movie made me feel like that was normal.
It was very strange.
That was for convenience, I guess, but like I don't know. It didn't even have to be. Oh my God, I just remembered with that lady when he's like, okay, when she's like, oh, kinky's gonna cost extra, and he's like, oh, how much? And she's like, it depends. And he's like, okay, I need you to get on the bed, and I need you to tie your feet. But he told her like, get on the bed, and like his voice changed, and I was like,
Yeah, I was flustered at that point. I was like, I need to record this actually because I'm gonna come
I was
back.
like, I don't know what just happened to me just then, but okay. And then he's like, tie yourself up and I'm gonna tie your arms. And he's like, and you're gonna close your eyes until I come back out of the bathroom. And she's like, oh, and what if I open my eyes? And he's like, don't. And his voice changed again. And I was like, don't talk to me like that. Don't.
But also, was he okay? I get like yes, it was very it had me feeling very feral, but also like was he gonna actually bone her in the skin suit? Like
I feel in the lady suit because he had like nails, right? And then she opens her eyes and like told you not to look at me. I'm changing. Like we're gonna have a talkie, bitch. And then
there's that high voice too. Oh my god. I fucking love it. This movie is fucking art.
awesome.
It's art, dude.
Not expecting that at all. Like this is better than Buffalo Bill. Like this is hilarious. This shit. I love this. Silence of the Lambs is very fucking serious.
Yes. This is
Can't.
deeply unserious.
So unserious and like like so good. I don't know. I just really like this shit to be goofy. I do.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like goofy. Not like I don't know. I watched The Boogeyman recently and like there's no explanation to where this thing came from. There's no explanation for what it is. It's like a snippet in the middle of a loop of like shit that's happening. I don't enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like, but this like set apart like goofy shit. I like this
Yes.
very much. I want if anybody watches or listens to this episode and knows more movies like this, because I don't know how to sit there and go out into the horror community and be like, give me movies that is this.
That's goofy. Like the thing is like do I like some horror movies that have like that's usually my thing, to analyze the lore and the storytelling and stuff. I can't do that with this.
Oh,
All I can say is I was laughing and horny the whole time, and it was amazing, and I had so much fun.
well, he's also like self-contained lore. Like he explained, my daddy did this, and so
But it was so dumb.
That's enough. That's enough for me. You know what I mean? That's great. Like and like I do like movies where I'm like scared, but I more like little jump scares that I can recover. I
Yeah.
don't want to be deeply traumatized by it
No.
at all.
I will say that what was it? Last House on the Left?
Yeah.
That fucked me up. I had to recover from watching that, mostly because I never want to see dramatized rape ever. Like, I never want to see it. I would rather be killed than be raped, personally. So that kind of stuff, like, if that's what I'm sitting down to with a movie, I almost get to the point sometimes, if like, sometimes in 31 Days of Horror we'll get a lot of those that are like that.
Yeah.
And I just, like, get to where I'm like, holy shit, maybe I don't like horror because it's so upsetting to me. But
Mhm.
then, like, I watch something like this.
Yes.
I watch
Yeah.
something like
And
The
like
Shape of
Wolf
Water,
Oh,
deeply imaginative. It's different. I wasn't horny the whole time. I mean, I know you have a thing with that, but
no, I wasn't horny. I was just appreciative of their relationship. That's all.
I like the lore building and that. I like the story building
It
and
was
and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And
visually
I can appreciate different things about horror. I just, like, don't want to be traumatized. And this is a way that, like, this is actually, like, a pretty traumatic uh like, idea, and, like, the idea that uh people are terrible and this is a terrible person that cannot be fixed, right? But it's so unserious. It's so goofy.
right. Like you put it up in comparison to Silence of the Lambs. That shit was fucking crazy. He's
Mm.
looking for women of a specific size to make his specific body, suit, and then fucking Hannibal Lecter's ass thrown into the mix. That's a lot. That's a lot for Agent Starling. This shit, ridiculous. Because he's doing all this stuff and like he doesn't have FBI on his tail. He's got a bitch that he fucked with and left alive coming after him very slowly with a limp.
Yes.
I like it. I do. And I get to the point sometimes too where I'm like, oh my God, maybe I don't enjoy horror. I think this year, actually, when we were doing 31 Days of Horror, I didn't really tell anybody, but I told my sister, and I was like, I don't know if I can like keep doing this, but I think it's important to have these discussions in horror spaces and amongst your friends who like horror because you don't have to stick to one thing. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to like everything, every kind of thing that's out there. And me putting myself into horror spaces, I've seen what people, like they're asking for. I like this. Give me suggestions. Give me suggestions for this. I've also seen a lot of like shit talking, which is not cool. Like, Talk to Me was I thought it was a very unique. I can't wait for it to drop on Netflix so that I can watch it again. I thought that it had a very satisfying ending, and a lot of people are like shitting on it. It wasn't scary at all. I hated the ending. Some people aren't looking to be scared, though,
Yeah.
necessarily. Or scared the way that you want. If you're going into a movie, just be like, scare the fucking pants off me. You have to look inside yourself. What
Mm-hmm.
actually scares me? And not everybody's looking for that,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and it changes. I used to want to be scared specifically. Like
Mm-hmm.
when we started this podcast journey, I was looking for movies to like scare the pants off of me. But then, The Exorcist came along and I agreed to do it for this podcast. And then we had to like go deep with like my childhood religious trauma and like I don't want to do that just to watch a fucking movie. I'm
No.
not interested. And other people can look at that and be like, oh, The Exorcist isn't scary. You have not lived the same experience as
Yeah.
it, you know?
Well, it's
I'm
just
not
like,
scared of goats. That's just random.
yeah. It's like, for me, what's scary, like, I think the first movie, and I've talked about this before, the first movie that scared me shitless was The Strangers, and I never wanted to watch that again. Like, just because I live in a community where most people are fucking cruel, and I could see people doing cruel, terrible, heinous things very easily. Like, all it would take is like somebody snapping and thinking, like, I don't know, you're putting like government rays in their head or something. They would come out and like fucking murder you easily. And so that kind of shit scares me. That
Mhm.
kind of shit really scares me, from growing up in an insular rural community that is very conservative and very scary. Uh stuff like that, like The Hills Have Eyes, the first time I watched it, scared the shit out of me. I watched it again and I thought it was, again, well, there's the rape thing. Again, that bothers me. But other than that, it was deeply unserious. Is that problem? I do like that there was no rape element in this, really. Like, even, he's out there targeting sex workers, but I mean, it's consensual.
Doesn't even but he also doesn't even like get to that part. He's like, yeah, you don't have to take your clothes off. Like, you don't have to do that. You don't like show it. Even like he had a beautiful night with Ricky Lake because her husband's a dickhead, but like they don't show it even. He just comes into her room with no fucking shirt on, all abs and whatnot, abs and glasses.
Yeah.
Like, damn, Ted. Oh, I like it. Moral of the story, kids. Watch what you want to watch. Like what you like.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, support Ted Raimi.
Yes. This is our husband. This is the podcast's husband. Okay?
Sure. He puts in good work. Okay. We love him.
We do.
I mean, you can't marry him because we're married to him. But,
he might be married. I don't care.
Yeah, but like, this is our imagination. So, can't tell us nothing.
I'm sure it'll be news to him when he's like, I'm married to a podcast.
There you are, baby. We still haven't gone on our honeymoon. Does he go to conventions? Because, like,
I want to know, because I need a picture with him for science.
for research.
But the ultimate GITM picture is like me, you, and Jay with Ted Raimi on one side and Adrian Brody on the other.
Adrian Brody will actually murder us if he ever listens. He will kill us, put us in his fucking trunk, and throw us into the Grand Canyon.
I'm here for it.
Way to go, I guess. 5 chuds.
5 chuds. I would let Adrian Brody put me in his trunk. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I don't want him to put me in his trunk. I would really prefer if he just open hand slapped me and told me I was a bitch, and I would say,
challenge me to a duel.
I would say, I'm sorry. He can challenge me to a cook-off. I'll beat that ass. I don't know if Adrian Brody cooks.
I would apologize. I didn't mean the effing frogs thing.
Apologize. We're just goofy bitches talking shit on a podcast.
It's not my fault. You made that movie, though. You made that movie.
We didn't tell you to do Splice and then fuck your science project.
I mean, you shouldn't say you're a method actor and then do a movie like Splice and not expect people to speculate on it.
You can only hear that Richard Gere gerbil story so many times before you start.
Oh my god.
I just watched Scream. My bad.
We are tarnishing the name of our podcast husband. Talking about this on his episode.
So, we talked about a lot on his episode. There's more. This isn't the last Ted Raimi movie. We're only halfway done with Ted Raimi month. There's 2 more to go.
Yay!
So jump on the Ted Raimi train because it's in full motion. And in the meantime, you can find this podcast on the interwebs at ghostinthemagazine.site or on Twitter at GITM Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at WitchXPudding.
And you can find me at Nocturnical.
Okay, bye.